Welcome everybody to NEXCO's webinar on managing trade preference claims. With me today is Diane Weinberg, and she will be giving the presentation. I am Jerry Cristantello, and I'm with NEXCO, and we are a nonprofit organization that provides educational training seminars for the international trade community.
Unfair or injurious import competition. There are certain requirements of most FTAs. The more recent FTAs that have been implemented require a labor provision in the signatory countries. They have use of originating materials to manufacture goods, direct shipment from one member to the agreement into the United States. Specific rules of origin must be met before product can be eligible for preferential duty treatment. Okay, one of the things again, to keep in mind is that the most important thing in managing your preference claim is that the goods are actually eligible for a preference under the agreement. And there are a number of factors that do not convey origin. So, the country of purchase, just because a good was we have a free trade agreement with Singapore. Just because a good was purchased in Singapore does not mean that, one, it is a product of Singapore or that it meets the rules of the U.S.-Singapore Free Trade Agreement. Just because it is shipped from through a particular country, of course, does not convey origin. The physical location of the goods does not convey origin. The product label can be misleading. That does not convey origin. Nor does management or sales department insistence that these goods are eligible for a tariff preference convey origin. You really need to verify that the goods are eligible for a tariff preference. Now, there are two basic types of free trade agreements. There is the GS type version, which is based on a particular product being the gross product or manufacture of the beneficiary country, plus 35% of the cost or value of the direct costs of processing added in the signatory country. The GSP type version has usually been used in the Middle East. Israel has the free trade agreement, has the GSP type, as does Jordan. Then there is a NAFTA type version, which generally is based on a tariff shift, that the non-originating materials undergo the requisite tariff shift so that the finished product is eligible for a tariff preference under the NAFTA type agreement. And this traces back to the U.S.-Canada Free Trade Agreement. That was the first place that the tariff shifts were utilized. Then there's also in addition, these are the two types, and then there actually are some hybrids that have both types, both a GS type for certain products and also a tariff shift. Morocco is one that comes to. So, the following FTAs are based on GSP type types of rules of origin. Jordan, Israel, Morocco, and Bahrain is the other one that are hybrids and incorporate both a tariff shift for certain products and a 35% value-added requirement, in addition to it being a growth or product of or manufacturer of that country. One thing I want to say, if at any point, if you don't understand something, please type in a question to me. We don't have to wait until the end. Now these are exemplars of some of the rules of origin. So this is from the U.S. Morocco rules of origin. And a lot of people ask, well, where are the rules of origin? The agreement is an international agreement. The U.S. signs it, and the other signatory or signatories to the agreement would sign it. But then Congress has to enact the agreement into law. And where you see that is if you have the harmonized tariff schedule of the United States, you can get it online, or if you have the printed version. In the general notes, each agreement has its own note assigned to it. So, for example, NAFTA is General Note 12, and you have the provisions there. I can see our CAFTA might be 27. So each note is located in the harmonized tariff schedule. Yeah. And so, that was an example of the actual Morocco rules of origin, and it shows that it's an originating good. So under any free trade agreement, to be eligible, you want an originating good. It is imported directly from the territory of one party into the territory of another party. So if you have a good, as I mentioned before, U.S.-Singapore, we have a free trade agreement. If that product from Singapore was imported into Hong Kong and work was done on it, it would no longer be eligible for a trade preference, a tariff preference, because it did not meet the direct shipping requirement. So again, if you have a